During the time of 1940, Japan is one of the evil countries which does not see anyone coming in between their expansion of the land size. The Japanese army had pushed quickly through China after capturing Shanghai in November 1937. The first Japanese troops reached the city of Nanjing on 13th December 1937. From that day, massacre started. Chinese soldiers were executed in violation of the laws of war. Women and girls were raped and looting was widespread. Rapes ranging from 20,000 to 80,000 including young girls and women. The death tolls estimates vary from 40,000 to over 3 lakh. This massacre was known as Nanjing Massacre, which was part of the Second Sino-Japanese War. How we can forget about kamikaze warriors? Kamikaze means divine wind. Any of the Japanese pilots who in World War II made deliberate suicidal crashes into enemy targets, usually ships. Kamikaze pilots were ordinary fighters or light bombers usually loaded with bombs and extra gasoline tanks before being flown deliberately to crash into their targets. Imperialist Japan forgot about humanity and killed every single person coming in during Japan's expansion. This situation stopped on the 6th and 9th of August when Hiroshima and Nagasaki faced the nuclear bomb in 1945 by the United States. After this incident, Japan stopped the war and turned on walking on the way to peace. But now, what happened wrong with Japan?
As the war drums continue to beat around the world, more countries are shoring up their defenses. Japan is the latest to up its military spending now.
Now, in a move to counter growing threats from rivals, Japan has unveiled a new national security plan.
Now, Japan has unveiled plans for its biggest military build-up since World War II. The government says it will double defense spending, bringing it up to the NATO standard of 2% of GDP.
Japan is an immediate neighbor to Russia, North Korea, and China.
But Tokyo's military expansion plans are a reminder of an imperial past when it occupied the Korean peninsula and parts of China, and seized all of East Asia during the Second World War.
After dropping the nuclear bomb on Japan, America seized the military of Japan and revised the constitution proposed Article 9. Article 9 says no war clause. Japan will remain disarmed and that will be overseen by United Nations. Even though Japan is one of the sea-locked countries, it could not keep the Navy, Air Force and military for protecting the nations against invaders. America will take entry into the picture if any country started a war with Japan. Then it will mean that they are attacking America. America will legally enter into a war for protecting Japan from invaders. That's the reason in Japan, US has more than 80 military bases and more than 50,000 soldiers for the protection of Japan. After getting military protection from America, Japan started investing in its innovative ideas and the economic development and started mega projects converting villages into cities, industrialization and agriculture in etc. sectors. They started investing in making goods and boosting the economy. Slowly and steadily, stories started taking the shape of a transformation, and the reason behind the transformation of the defense force of Japan is the ex-PM of Japan, known as Shinzo Abe. Shinzo Abe merges India, America and Australia to form the Quad Force for protecting and destroying the dominance of China in the Indo-Pacific Oceans. Japan announces $320 billion for investing in the defense sector. Japan started purchasing a lot of warplanes, fighter jets, submarine destroyers, rocket launchers and some more troops from America. For countering China started military training with the help of India and other countries and became the 6th largest defense spender country. But why is Japan militarizing its nation and spending too much money on defense forces? Because of its high-reach aggressive neighborhood, including China, North Korea and Russia. Recently, China did a test on a ballistic missile that passes through Japanese territory, 100 km far from their mainland. This step was chosen by China to give a warning to Japan that they don't interrupt the conflict between China and Taiwan. As all you know, China says that Taiwan is part of the Republic of China, but Japan and Taiwan don't accept this. Because Taiwan is too close with Japan border, even their goods and ships goes from near to the Taiwan area, and if China occupies Taiwan, then it will create a huge problem for Japan. Because China will come too closer to Japan and even block the sea route trade of Japan too. That's the reason Japan interrupted the conflict between China and Taiwan. As same North Korea do with Japan, smuggles the girl from Japan and sends them to North Korea. Afterward, North Korean spies take entry into South Korea with the identity of Japanese girls. If the girls are caught, directly Japan will face criticism. This is the reason for focusing more and more on the defense sector. Since Russia started the war with Ukraine on a large scale, every small or weak defense country started thinking about protecting their nations against invaders. Example like Germany. Germany, which announced in February 2022 that it will spend an additional 100 billion euros on the defense sector for securing the border. Even Russia is also too closer to Japan's border, and they have a dispute over one of the high-rich natural and oil reserve field and two beautiful scenery around the island, which is known as Kuril Island. Russia used to deploy a lot of troops on this island, and Japan doesn't like this. And just think, China, North Korea and Russia sitting over the head of Japan. Japan can't sit and wait for America to fight and protect the homeland. And I think Japan's idea to militarize the nation is reasonable and correct decision. Even America helping too, giving a lot of training and armed weapons to Japanese soldiers, and day by day Japan invested an abundant amount of money into the military and weapons. But what lessons we can learn from this story? First, whatever mistakes you have done in your past, just forget about that and enjoy your life peacefully. Second, if you feel insecure about someone or something, just counter with that for protecting yourself. Third, Japan is one of the most peaceful countries present in the world. But in this era, this peaceful country also lifted the weapons for fighting with the threatened nations. So this is all from my side. I hope you love this information talkies. Meet you in the next video. Till then,